Hey guys, it is indeed a pleasure to be with you tonight. We made it through another day. Well, we're still making it through. For those of us who are on the East Coast, it is 7 o'clock. For those of you who are on the West Coast, it is 4 p.m. And tonight, we've got a very special guest, Holly Robinson-Peete. We're going to be talking about what's going on in the Pete household. And we're also going to be talking about Autism Awareness Month. And we are going to talk with Holly. And I just want everyone to relax and breathe because this is what this is about. It's just about us just saying, hey, just hanging out. Not hanging with Mr. Cooper, but hanging with the Pete's. And there she is. Hi, Holly. You look so pretty. How you doing?
Oh, thank you. I'm doing okay. How are you doing, April? I'm so excited to talk to you.
I was so excited to talk to you too. I feel like
I've
Cardi
been,
B with
I've
Bernie
been.
Sanders.
Well, you know what's funny? It's just like you think you know people on social media, and I think I know you. Like in my mind, we've already hung out, we've had
I know
drinks,
you're like my best friend in my mind.
we've already
But you know,
chilled.
I know, but we have come across each other, and you may not remember this, but I've always remembered this about you beyond 21 Jump Street and hanging with Mr. Cooper, and when you got engaged, that fine husband for all these years. Let me tell you something. I'm so impressed with that. I'm like, wow, they are doing you. You guys
Wait,
are doing the thing.
April, it's about to be in June. We had a big old thing planned, but 25 years. We're coming up on
Really?
our 25th. Yeah. Crazy,
It's been
right?
that long ago. See, if
It
you
was that
say
long.
that, it makes me feel like I'm old. I remember when he got down on his knee, and you were like, you lost your mind. I
I
mean,
do. I remember. It was a great moment. It was on the set of Hanging with Mr. Cooper,
Oh yeah.
and it was a huge surprise. And yeah, he's still my husband, so must be doing
Amen. I'm
must be
not
doing
mad at
something
that.
right.
And you guys, I mean, we watch you on OWN, we watch you everywhere doing different things and just being family. You don't see that in Hollywood. And that's the thing. And that's what I appreciate about you and your family and how your family structure is. You are a family. And you're like, yeah, I'll go hang out with Magic and Ken, Cookie, and all these people. But I still, when you lost your dog on the trip, I was like, oh my God. I was like, and that just touched my heart. And I mean, I follow you. You see, I follow you. And I just watch your adventures and I just love the family. But we talked a couple of years ago and you were like shocked when I told you this. You and I both have a daughter named Ryan. You're,
That's right.
yes, you have Ryan Elizabeth. Mine is Ryan Tyler. And no, it's not Ryan. My maiden name is Ryan. I'm not gonna give you the last name, but yeah, we share that commonality, Ryan.
Yeah, the Ryan. So my Ryan was supposed to graduate from NYU next month. And so she's a little disappointed. And as you can imagine, as we all are, and all our lives have been interrupted. I keep telling my kids, I'm like, I don't know what to tell you. I've never seen anything like this. So we're all sort of learning it as parents and children together, which I think is bringing at least our family together at times because we're figuring this out every day. So like one day you wake up and you have energy and you're like, I'm going to be creative today. I'm going to make the best of this and I'm going to use this time wisely. And the next morning you're just laying in bed still like, I don't want to do nothing. I don't want to go anywhere. And I find that the
Well, you're
kids,
not going anywhere, but go ahead.
but you know what I mean? Like
Yeah.
even get out of the bed, even make
Yeah.
that trip to the kitchen, and back. So it's been a learning experience. So she's not going to get that great big Yankee Stadium, commencement that she's supposed to get. And that's a lot of disappointment. I remember when I was in my 20s and graduated from college, like that was everything. So it's hard to sort of temper her disappointment.
Well, I'm sure, and you guys are creative and you guys keep it fun. I'm sure you got something special. If she's watching, I don't want to spoil Ryan's surprise, but I'm sure you guys are going to do something fun in your stadium sized backyard. So, but
Well, listen, we're not going to have, we're certainly not going to have the amount of people that they would have had. Of course, we're going to do it our own way. But yes, I do have a little something up my sleeve, and I'm looking forward to trying to make it as special as possible.
Yeah, but you know what? I'm going to tell you, college graduation is everything. But you know what? I graduated the class of 1989 from Morgan State University. I don't remember the commencement speaker. But what I do remember, it was hot. I remember a friend of mine got stung by a bee on the field. And I remember someone had champagne in their, under their gown, and they were popping champagne. I was like, oh my God. But at least, will she at least get her diploma?
Yeah, that's on her. That's on the way to her. She'll have a cap and gown. So they ordered that, and they'll still have that. So this is definitely going to be, a different story. And I told her similar things about what I remembered about my commencement. I downplayed it. I don't remember my speaker either. But these are different. But April, these are different times. So these kids get speakers that we would never think that we could ever get.
Michelle Obama.
They get these amazing speakers, and it's all on social media. They share it, so it's a kind of a different scenario. So I'm going to be creative with her and hope that I can give her a great experience.
So what does your day look like in the midst of all of this? Because everyone has a different routine. This morning, I was in that funk like you were. Yesterday I worked so long and so hard. And this morning I said, I just don't want to get up. And I got up around 10 o'clock, and my youngest daughter, she's the one, she can sleep till noon. I don't know where she thinks she is, but she'll sleep till noon. And she's supposed to be on online learning. So I woke up at, 9:44. I jumped up and ran straight to her room. The oldest one, Ryan, is diligent. The youngest one is she's like, oh my. I went to her room, I opened the door, and she was sitting there on her laptop, smiling, doing her schoolwork. It's like, oh, thank you, God. But
I love it. And by the way, I did what you did as well. We have this in common. I named my middle child Robinson, which is my maiden name, but I added the Pete onto mine. So he's Robinson-Peete. I'm Holly Robinson-Peete.
wow.
And at the airport, it is so confusing.
Yes, and I've had airline tickets messed up because they couldn't get the Ryan and all that stuff.
So I know that whole movie. Typically, let's say a good productive day would be I wake up, I put on my meditation app for 15 minutes.
Okay.
I just put it on. I use the Calm app or Headspace, and Calm has a different one every day. It's called the Daily Calm. And I just try to meditate in the morning. And all that means is that I just breathe, close my eyes. I center myself so that when I pull open my phone and I start seeing the trends on Twitter, immediately it gets very dark for me. So if I at least have that moment of clarity and positivity, when I look at the world, it doesn't become so bleak. I have a better view. So that's what I do, that I go on a trends. I see what's up. It's Autism Awareness Month. So this month in particular, I've been talking about Holly Ride Foundation. I've been trying to advocate for families with children with autism because normally this is like the biggest fundraising time for our nonprofit. But of course, other bigger things are going on in the world. I don't want people to forget about autism families. They are particularly experiencing a really difficult set of challenges beyond what we typically are dealing with our kids at home.
And this affects you personally. One of your children, RJ, has autism. And can you talk to us about, and before we go into that, I want to give a definition for people for autism, because this is very, very important. Autism or autism spectrum disorder refers to a broad range of conditions characterized by challenges with social skills, repetitive behavior, speech, and nonverbal communication. Is that correct?
Correct. Absolutely. And there's a spectrum. So you can see a child with autism on one end of the spectrum be nonverbal and look like they're not connecting with you. And on the other end of the spectrum, they can be highly verbal, but they can't look you in the eye or make a friend. So the spectrum is very wide, and every child is different. So I always tell people that, because I think, some people go, well, your son doesn't look autistic, or, he doesn't. I get that a lot, right? he is on the spectrum, and he has had his immense challenges. When he was 3 years old and got diagnosed, we were told he would never do a whole laundry list of things. And we call that the never day, right? We say the never day. They say he'll never have mainstream school. He'll never have friends. He'll never drive, work, all that. Well, one of the reasons why I decided we were going to talk about it publicly, which was a big family discussion in our house, was because I wanted people to see RJ's progress as a sign of hope. Because when RJ was 3, I didn't have a whole lot of hope. I didn't see any celebrities talking about it. I knew of them who had kids on the spectrum, but they didn't choose to use their platforms like that. So I felt like it was up to me. I got a big mouth. I talk a lot. I was like, you know what? I'm going to use my gifts to share with the autism community, because I wanted people to know, you know, sort of what it was like and to follow this story. So a lot of people, and I even see some of the people's comments, you know, that they've seen me since RJ was 3, and sort of followed my story. And I love that, because now RJ's 22 and he's got a job, and that provides hope for people if you're just getting a diagnosis today.
With the Dodgers, correct?
Yes. And so he's not working. So he's going stir crazy, because our kids with autism like routine. They like to be able to get up and go someplace, like we all do. But for our kids with autism, it can throw us into a sensory dysfunction when we don't have that routine every day. So he's struggling. He's struggling.
So at 22, how do you help? He's a man. He's a man. How do you help him in the midst of something that we can't even comprehend right now? And there's such a battle. Do you even allow him to watch the news? Because I know you are a social media maven. You, like you say, I see you on Twitter. I see you liking some of my things. But do you allow him to get on social media or to watch the news as well? Because does that kind of cause anxiety?
It does. And so this is what we're doing. We're having family meetings every night at a certain time. It could be 1 minute long. It could just be dinner and then we're done, or it could be longer than that. And I just need to have a forum for each one of my kids. There's four kids, 2 dogs, and a husband up in here. We are like, look, I have named this sitcom. It is called Hanging with Mr. Pete and Them. It's a whole
and them. I love that and them.
And them. And so we have so many people in here, and as a mom, I just want to give a voice to everybody, because they're all having anxiety, right? We all are. And so I want them to talk about it. So some nights we laugh, we act silly, we talk about old times and funny family moments. And other days it's teary, you know, and people have anxiety, and my daughter doesn't get to graduate, and what's she going to do? And, you know, RG has no job, and is he ever going to have a job? I don't have the answers for that right now. So that really helps them stay grounded and stay focused. And we've been trying to do that. As far as them looking at their social media, I can't police them. They're going to do what they do. Most of the time they're on TikTok or playing or doing dances or games or connecting.
Are you dancing with them on TikTok? Are you dancing with them on TikTok?
I did one, and then one, I said, give me the easiest one. I did
they
one.
They wrote me in. I did one too, and I'm like, I can't do all that.
I can't all that. It's too complicated. So yeah, all that. So I did my little one TikTok, and then I called it a day. So I give them the room to look at news as they want. Like every day here in California, I don't watch the national White House press conferences. That just totally depresses me. It makes it it's not uplifting. It doesn't give me information, so I don't watch that. But in California, every day we watch our governor, and he gives us such really good, long, professorial type of, you know, information that I find useful to share.
I missed that at the White House. I missed that at the White House, but go ahead.
I don't know how you did it. I don't know how you did it. I watch Yamisha. I watch all these other people in there. Y'all are heroes.
Well, I'm going back after the coast is clear, because like everyone else, I have underlying issues. I give it to Yamisha right now, but if it was me in there, as soon as he said Lysol something, no, go ahead. I'm sorry. I'm so
glad that we have people like you, journalists with integrity, that are in there to hold people accountable. But like you said, we're going to move forward. So the governor, our governor in California, Gavin Newsom, he basically breaks out you know,
Mm-hmm.
she breaks everything down so well. So I find that as a mom, that gives me information to share with my kids,
That's right.
actual information. And we have this sister who is our Surgeon General of California, who is bad. I love her, and she gives us information on how to manage stress. Her name is escaping me right now, but she tells us how to manage stress, how to, what kind of things will help us in our household, like really useful information. And I love her. So she's been great. And so, but every now and then they'll come to me and I just heard this, or I just heard that, or did you know today more people died than in the Vietnam War? Like they'll come to me with those moments, and I just allow them to talk about it, and then we try to shift the conversation to a more positive place.
Is it Nadine Burke Harris?
That's her.
All
That's
right.
her.
All right. All
Thank
right.
you.
Yes, I'm as you're talking, I'm like, let me see. Let me see. Well, it's sad that we're not getting it as a nation, but I'm glad that each state is getting it. I'm in the state of Maryland, so we have a governor who had his wife negotiate a deal to get. You
I
heard
saw
about
that.
that?
I
Yep.
saw that. I was like, listen, hey, you
The
got to
secret
use
weapon.
whatever you.
Use what you got.
I love that. It's kind of, everybody's being resourceful. The governors are, most of them, all of them are being resourceful, right? And so that's good. That's what we want to see.
So talk to me about RJ. And I want to ask you the routine for him. And because it sounds like routine is important. And right now it's hard for many people to be in a routine, but we have to, because if not, we lose it. So talk to me about the routine, and give us tips for those who need to figure out how to keep a routine with their child,
Okay,
especially if
so
they're an autistic child.
right. So RJ, thank God he has language, and I'm able to talk to him, and he can reciprocate conversation. He didn't have
Mhm.
language till very late in life, but he has it, and it's just a blessing. So thank you, God, for that. I make him a schedule. It's a little
Mm.
dried up schedule, but it's a schedule. I write it on a whiteboard. Wake up at 9:30. Take the dogs out in the back and play with them, or take them for a walk, or uh, you know, um, let's watch this show together. Like just little random stuff. Dinner is at this time. Now we don't always hit those times, but at least he can look at it and he can feel a sense of structure.
Right.
That has been helpful for him. I have been, because it's Autism Awareness Month, I've been going on doing lives like this with other autism parents to take people into their houses to see what it's like for them. Because all these kids are so different. This one woman named Michelle, she's such an amazing autism mom, and I put her on my Instagram. There's a young man her son, who like can't wear the mask on his face, right? He finds
Mhm.
that like sensory offensive. And
Mhm.
so it's so good to see this, because she wants to take him out to get him some fresh air, but wearing that mask is just confining to him, and it puts him in a bad space. So to
Wow.
see what that's like is important in different people's homes. And so out there, families are doing the best they can with all their kids, whether you have a
Mhm.
child with special needs or not. But the special needs community, and especially the autism community, really has a different set of challenges. And I wanted to highlight that this month.
Um, yes, and I'm so glad we are. I know a lot of people who are dealing with this issue, and I'm so thankful that you're on. And before we go any further, I wanted to shout out someone who said that they need you to write them a schedule. Anna Navarro, my girl Anna Navarro.
Anna, listen,
She's on here.
I love her. I love her so much. She's such an amazing advocate as well, and has always been supportive of the work that I've been doing. So that's my sister. I love her.
She's amazing. She is amazing with her turbans on. I mean, I'm telling
Them
you.
turbans. Listen, my mom called me and asked me, where can I get an Anna Navarro turban? I said, I'll ask her, Mom.
I asked her for, I'm trying for Anna, where do you get those turbans? She's got them in every color. Let me tell you something. So, and I'm going to tell it. I don't care. Susan Rice, Susan Rice, the former UN ambassador, national security advisor, we're good friends. And after you get a certain age, wisdom shows up.
Yeah.
And she's like, girl, you better go on Amazon and get that mascara, hair mascara. I said, wow.
Yeah.
So Anna wants, okay, here she says 17 turbans for $25.99. Where, Anna? Tell us,
Anna, send them.
where.
Anna, hook us up. Hook us up. We want the Anna turban.
I know we want the Anna Turbin girl. You need to. Everybody's saying they're a fan of Anna. We love Anna. Thank you for tuning in, Anna. I watched you and George Lopez the other night while they were drinking and singing Happy Birthday.
I went out with Anna and George Lopez. I can't keep up with them. We went out with them. Gosh, that was one of the last times I went out. We went out and we watched Arturo Sandoval do his little set. I mean, we had a good old time. I love those.
Were you able to walk afterwards? Because they were on Instagram just, I was like, oh my God.
No, I couldn't keep up with those two, but I cannot wait to hang out with them again.
She said, DM me your address. Love you both. Can't believe you're all just talk without drinking. Girl, bye, Anna. See you later. Anyway, this is my drink of choice tonight.
I've got a little tea in here.
Cheers, Anna. So, but at the end of the day, when everybody comes together, when the day is going on and everybody comes together, what is everybody saying? Is it like, whew, this has been hard. Whew, well, I'm glad I got you. Or, you know, Mom, Dad, this is a bonding experience. I'm just so glad we're together. What are they saying when they come together with you?
You know what's interesting? It's all over the map, right? There's moments where they're real deep and real emotional, and there's moments that are just so silly I can't even tell you. You know, crazy family moments, right? And gossipy stuff like, oh, did you hear? Like the kids came running in today. My daughter came running in. I said, what, Ryan? She was like, Megan Thee Stallion and Beyonce did a song together. I was like, okay, really? That's breaking news. But don't think later on I ain't gonna be downloading that baby. We'll all be dancing to it. So we have those moments, but I think the biggest theme has to be gratitude, practicing gratitude, and really feeling a sense of gratefulness about the situation that they're in. My kids talk a lot about other people, like, what are the homeless kids doing, Mom? Like, what happens to this population or that population? What about domestic violence? And so I've been really impressed at how worried they are for other people, and that made me feel good about who they are as human beings.
The empathy comes out at a time such as this. We pray that the empathy, you would think the empathy comes out at a time such as this, but with other people, I mean, you know, God bless them, because, you know, they're going to have to deal with something at some point. But, you know, I also look at this as a time of creativity. Because for people like me, for people like you, and many of our viewers, you take this time, okay, I'm home. What can I do? Fix a room, or make a prayer closet, or work with the kids on something, or write a book, or lose weight or something. What are you doing? What's your creative moment?
My best friend Terry, shout out to Terry Ellis from the group En Vogue.
Hold on,
right? They have a whole hashtag hold on together, you know, for this time, and they're celebrating their 30th anniversary. Anyway, I in my mind, I think I'm in that group, but they never call me.
You look like your best friend. You have always looked like her.
I know, and a couple times I tried to pass for her, and that didn't work out too well. But anyway, she made the most beautiful gratitude journal for me, so I do write in that. And also, just really for now, for me, the creativity is about autism, because we have a couple more days before Autism Awareness Month is over. After that, autism awareness is every day for me, so I'll still continue that. And I saw someone commented that, why don't I write an autism book? And it's so funny. Watch me move my head over, and there's my book right there.
Right behind you. Pick the book up and show that book. Pick that book up and show everyone that book.
This book is actually 10 years old, but it's still just as relevant today. It's a children's book called My Brother Charlie, and it's co-written by Ryan, my daughter Ryan Elizabeth Peete. And it is a really great book about autism told from a sibling's point of view. Oftentimes we never talk about the siblings and how much they go through, you know, having that child or that brother or sister with a special need. They get neglected sometimes. So it's a beautiful picture book. I encourage everyone to grab it or give it to your school library or a friend. And it's also
is it still on Amazon? Can we get it on Amazon?
Oh yeah, you can get it, and we're working on the follow-up to it now. And also, April, can you see these bracelets?
They're beautiful.
Yeah, so these are our rainbow friendship bracelets that we get from Stella.com. If you go to Stella.com, there's a whole autism boutique that benefits Holly Rod Foundation, our foundation, and we support families impacted by autism. We help kids with autism get jobs. Like RJ, we support them with caregiver support. So for me, this time has been spent continuing to work on my nonprofit because the Hallmark movies I was supposed to go do are not happening. And all the appearances I was supposed to make during Autism Awareness Month are not happening. So I just appreciate you giving me this platform to talk about this.
Well, I appreciate you saying yes. I was like, "Hi, Robinson-Peete said yes." I'm telling you, and I mean, you know, I am a fan, and I've been following you for years, and I just, you know, I just think you're awesome and how you hold it together. And I mean, you love your mom, you love your friends. I mean, I don't know how you do it. And bless you, because I'm like, you don't look like you are breaking a sweat in the midst of it all.
Well, that's part of it, right? You're not supposed to let them see you sweat, but trust me, I sweat. I mean, drops of sweat. I have so many normal moments where I just break down and just like freak out. And I've had a couple this over the last 50 or so days that we've been in the house. Like I've had a few of those moments. And I, you know, allow myself to do that, because you have to have those moments. You can't run around trying to pretend you know, have your armor on all the time. And I think that that's been great for me and my family. We've been able to have these moments of realness and humanity. And so I'm blessed. I have a great team. This family I have is great. We've been able to really learn a lot more about each other. And RJ is such a blessing. This guy is so magical to me, because when I think about, we were laughing last night about it, April. We were talking about, remember that time when we were in Martha's Vineyard and RJ was 4 years old and he ran into the middle of the street because he couldn't read. Well, wait, like we're laughing at it now, but he couldn't read my horror as I was trying to tell him to stop. He was running in the middle of the street on a blind curve in Martha's Vineyard.
And that's small. That's a small community with a lot of cars.
And those curves and Oak Bluff, like those curves are like, you can't see. He took off running, and I didn't get to him till the middle of the street, the dashed yellow line. And Rodney was back at the house screaming, and he couldn't get there. And RG couldn't read anger in my face and in my voice. Now he can hear it right away. But when he was that age, he was struggling with his autism so hard, he could not tell that I was screaming for him. And when I got to him in the middle of the street, I pulled his pants down and started and got that booty real quick. And I know, listen, I just wanted him to connect with this moment.
This is not right. This is not right.
I didn't. It was life and death. And as a mom, like that was the only, and I don't really spank my kids. I never did. But in that moment, and so last night he says to me, okay, this is 20 years later, right? He says, Mom, you remember you spanked my booty in the middle of the street? I was like, yeah, but why did I do that? He said, because I almost got hit by a car and I couldn't understand. You were trying to save my life. I was like, oh, God, like, how did we get to this place? Yeah. So there's a lot of hope out there. And anybody who's watching who has a child with autism, please don't ever let someone tell you what your child is going to be. Never, ever accept that diagnosis.
But, you know, and it's not just about kids with autism. What about the kids who have learning differences right now? You know, they're having a hard time not having school, not having structure. And a lot of the kids who are in public school, they're having a hard time trying to make it happen. This school year is pretty much gone for them. And kids all over who have some kind of difference, it's tough. And we have to, and you're right, we have to look at our kids. We can't just say, this is me. Our kids are stressed out too. Our kids are definitely stressed out with this. So once again, this is Stella and Dot. Is that what it is? Stella and Dot?
Stella and Dot is the name of the company that sells accessories. They do a partnership with our Holly Rod Foundation every year for autism. They sell these bracelets and other accessories. If you go to www.stelladot.com, without the and in the middle, Stella Dot, you can see an autism boutique on there. And like, I think tomorrow is the last day of Autism Awareness Month. And so they, like I showed you before, these little pretty bracelets, and they have charms and all kinds of really cool things. And over the last 6 years, this partnership has raised over $700,000 for Holly Rod. So this is some serious philanthropy that they're doing and helping us with.
So I'm looking at your collection here. I see Whiplash Speed Voluminizing Mascara.
Yes.
For autism.
Yep.
It's not, it's a, they have engravable silver leather band, iridescent white. They have a beautiful rainbow bar silver and nicely priced, actually. These are very nice items.
Very low price points, very affordable. But this is a difficult time, April. So I've been just telling people that want to support that. Someone said to me, I want to buy a bracelet this year. I always do, but I can't afford to this year. And all I say is that if you can just do me a favor, if you know of a family dealing with autism, or you know of somebody who knows of somebody, because it's 1 in 58 kids, they're out there, just reach out to them, see if there's anything you can get for them or do for them. And that is your philanthropy during Autism Awareness Month.
I'm gonna say this. I see 2 items that I like: that bar for $10 and the puzzle piece for $10. It's
the puzzle piece is great, and yeah, the puzzle piece is awesome, and it's really, actually, you know what? Wait, I'm just gonna don't go anywhere. I gotta grab something.
Where are we gonna go? She says, "Don't go anywhere." Where are we gonna go? Hey guys,
don't you go nowhere. Okay, so this is my. So look at this. So you can see. This is the other bracelet.
Yeah.
So you can see the really cool.
The bar. I see the bar that I like right there.
Yeah. The bar. Yep. And then I don't know if you can read this, but on here it says, "Count your rainbows and not your thunderstorms."
Oh.
And so that's kind of a little thing I've been saying during this time.
That's lovely. That's lovely,
Yeah.
Guys. And the collective leather band is $29. That you put all the little what do you call them? The puzzle pieces.
They're like charms. So you just fit them right on here. Wait, don't look at my nails, April. Okay, so you
Girl,
just put...
Holly, let me tell you something. I have no nails. I just got my gel off. Just got it off. One was hanging on for about a month. I was like, come on, please.
You gotta go. So, you gotta say goodbye. Gotta say goodbye.
We said goodbye. Look, but I tell you what, I do not believe that people will be doing the same thing that we used to when we get out, because, they're opening, and you tell me this, they're opening up Georgia in various states. And I talked to Keisha Lance Bottoms, the mayor of Atlanta, last night.
I saw when you talked to her.
Oh, you were on the NAACP call?
Yeah.
She said the numbers have spiked. People are going to get their hands done. Even if there's a partition there, you're still touching someone's hand, and it can be passed. And people are getting their hair done.
Listen, nobody has articulated it better than Mayor Keisha. Like, nobody has articulated it better. She talked about, her family owning a hair salon. She talked about she understands her mom. I mean, and I think
her brother just got tested yesterday. He was trying to get a test, remember? And she said her mother was they wouldn't give her mother one because she didn't have the symptoms. But go ahead, right. I'm sorry.
No, I mean, but she's living through this just like everyone else, and I think she's so relatable. And so what bothers me is that even with her pleas, and I'm sure she's, pled to the governor of Georgia as well. I just want to just remind people just that, life is so important, and that hair and those nails are just, and I understand that there are technicians and people who have salons that need to work. I've been doing my own nails with not great success, but let's just get, what's important right now. And that's the health of all of us, so that we can safely get through this to the other side. When that statistic came through today about the Vietnam War deaths versus, what we saw in just the last couple months, it was really sobering to me. I hate to see so many, especially African-American people, putting themselves at risk. It just breaks my heart. So whatever you can do to stay home and stay safe and keep people safe around you, we just got to get to this other side, and then we can get our hair and our nails done and all of that.
And the other side, what the other side looks like is, we don't know how long. They're saying a year to a year and a half before vaccine. They're saying there's promising hope right now with a vaccine potentially. But nonetheless, the expectation is a year to a year and a half. And then after you get the vaccine, it has to be mass produced. After it's mass produced, you have to have immunizations, not just here in this country, but globally. We are global citizens. We touch one another. Things are different. You know, the airlines are now saying you're going to have to wear a mask.
Right.
And, you know, there are a lot of people who were wearing masks before and they weren't sick, you know, on the airlines. I mean, our way of life is going to be different. I mean, how is Hollywood going to handle this? I
Well,
mean,
that's going to be curious because I talked to my producer partner yesterday, and we got a couple projects places, and we do most of our filming in Vancouver, British Columbia, and they're starting in Canada to talk about opening up their, that's a huge industry for them, and starting to open that up and seeing what that looks like. And so, and that's obviously down the line, but it would involve quarantine. It would involve everyone being tested on a set. It would involve some certain level of risk that you're just going to have to take. None of these production companies are going to cover you if you get COVID-19. You have to pretty much, sign off. So the rules are all going to be different. The sets will be smaller. The crews will be smaller. But this is something that we're all going to have to figure out what happens as we move forward. But at Hollywood is going to look completely different. And I'm talking to some of our union members, the Screen Actors Guild. It's going to be a whole, for lack of a better term, whole nother movie, because we're going to be, we're just going to be in a place of complete change and evolution, and we're all going to have to be patient with that.
So here's my thing also. How are we going to go to the movie theater now? I'm a big movie person. I mean, I like streaming, but I like going to the movies. I'm trying to get like you 25 years in. I got a boyfriend. Who knows where that's going to go. But anyway, I want to go and sit. He's a nice guy. I want to go and sit and hold his hand at a movie one day. But that's not going to be, I mean, we're all jammed up against each other unless you go to those nice theaters with those big, luxurious lounge seats that serve dinner. You're still kind of far away from people, but you're still too close. What is it going to look like? What is tomorrow going to look like? Even once the vaccine happens, people are going to be afraid to be close again.
Yeah, I mean, it's going to look totally different. Priorities are going to be different. The way we connect is going to be different. The way we love each other is going to be different. I know it's getting it's happy hour now here, so I can say this: the way we make love is going to be different. Like everything's going to be different. That's just the bottom line.
Dating is going to be different.
Dating is going to be totally different, and the way
that people, thing, I don't know if I like that. I don't know if I like that bumble
hookups ain't gonna be hookups like they used to be. So it's gonna shift, and I think everyone will be able to, ride that wave. What I fear is that when we open up, people are just not going to use those precautions. And that's, I think, what we're seeing a little bit, in Georgia, we saw that in Chicago, we saw that. And so we just have to pace ourselves and keep remembering that, we have to stay alive and healthy for our children, for our parents. And all of this is going to be different, but we have to adapt and pivot and move forward.
So you and I are both mothers. What did you think about that house party in Chicago?
Let me tell you something.
What?
Let me tell you something. My feelings were hurt. Again, my feelings were hurt. I don't understand it. I don't understand that pack mentality that everybody is thinking that way. Like, where's that one person that says, y'all know that we could be infecting each other, and then y'all know that we are at a higher risk of death than other populations. So I cannot put my finger on it. I think people are, Americans especially, we're not used to being told what we can and can't do. We like our freedom, but at what cost? I think it was D.L. Hughley or someone like that put out a meme that was like, we went through all this slavery and all this Jim Crow, but we can't go through 53 days of, not getting our hair done and our nails done. Like, let's seriously be honest with each other, and we got to take care of our community. We are an important community, and we have to value ourselves. So that house party really kind of wore me out. It really did.
I just can't believe it. But a couple things. Someone just asked, or someone made a comment saying, even love scenes in Hollywood will change.
Oh yeah, there you go. Completely. And and I'm
No
getting
more
ready
50 Shades of Grey. No more 50 Shades.
yeah. And listen, the project that I was working on next, I was about to go shoot with my love interest is Rick Fox. Now he's kind of fine, right? And I don't mind. Listen, I say to Rodney Peete that he knows. I mean, like, yeah, I like going to work when I work with Rick. Shoot. And Rodney's like,
but you've been married 25 years.
When you married 25 years, he's like, I know, he's fine. He's fine. I'm like, them little
even your husband knows he's fine.
Right. My husband, like, he's fine. Like, you have to get the finest guy ever to play your opposite. But I love Rick. We're like best friends. And we were talking about that. We were like, gosh, our scene's going to be different. Now listen, we're doing Hallmark movies. So we're not exactly, swinging from chandeliers. But we do have kissing scenes and things. And so
you're very tender and holding hands.
It's tender and a lot of looks and hand touching,
and walking down Main Street.
It's really with snow falling just so. But we have such a close relationship that I think we'll figure our way around it, But for people who are just meeting on a show, it's like Rick and I have been working together for years, so we know each other. But if you're just getting cast along opposite, you want to know everything about this person. Yeah. And that's going to change.
Everything. The way we used to meet up, just hanging out, meet me at the bar and grill, meet me. It's not happening anymore.
No.
Our psyche has now been changed to the point where we're going to be distant. We're going to be air hugging. I mean, I'm air hugging people or driving by waving, I love you. And they're way away. It's crazy. But I want to talk about, your IG page the last couple of months. Last week, somebody else fine was on there. You were making me jealous with the pictures with a man named Prince. You happen to be, I know. I loved him
so much. Let me just tell you. So I got a great Prince story, and I don't tell the story too much, but Prince called me. This is pre-Rodney, right? I was on Hanging with Mr. Cooper. It was like second season. Ooh. And he called me, and I thought it was my brother playing a joke on me. I was like, Matt,
what did he sound like? Was it like that bass voice, or was it like the falsetto?
He was whispering. Prince whispered. So he was like, hello, Holly. Hello, it's Prince. I was like, Matt, stop playing. This ain't no Prince. Because, mind you, I should say, I was, like a lot of people, I was an enormous Prince fan. I saw Purple Rain in the theaters 25, 30 times. Like, I was obsessed with this guy. So he had seen me sing the theme song of Hang with Mr. Cooper with En Vogue, the very first theme song. And he said, I really like your voice, and I really want to do a song with you. I was like, you want to do a song with me? Like, I was like, Matt, stop playing. Matt, stop playing, right?
And it was
so he goes, this isn't Matt, this is Prince, and I'm going to send you the song, and I'm going to send you a ticket, and you're going to meet me in Minneapolis, and we're going to sing the song. I'm going to produce this on you at Paisley Park. Girl, it all happened. I went down. He sent me the song. The song was called Holly Don't Care. Holly Don't Care.
Who's that singing behind you?
That's Ryan humming Holly Don't Care, because she just walked in.
Hey, Ryan.
This is my friend April. We're doing an Instagram live, and her daughter's name is Ryan too.
Oh my God, Sweating is this? Hey girl,
hi. Ryan hated her name. I said, girl, do you not know that that's a wonderful name? And now she embraces it. You're Ryan, Elizabeth.
I've always liked my name.
Well, good. Well, maybe you need to talk to mine, but she's now embracing it.
Is it spelled the same, Ryan, or does she have?
Yes, my last name is Ryan. So
she has, it's her maiden name, like I did with Robinson.
Oh, I love that. Oh my God, it's so cute. Okay, yeah, tell her to.
Okay, girl, this is my interview. Bye. Close the door. Close the door. Love you. We're gonna play that new Beyonce later.
Okay. All
right. So anyway, we recorded the song. He loved it. We loved it. The song came out great. And then we got into like the legal part of it, where I was going to sign a deal with him, and then the business part of Prince was a little different when you were signing with him as an artist. So we never ever released it. We still remain friends. He brought me on stage and let me sing a couple times. I love that man. And then I remember when I got married, he sent me a gift. He sent me this beautiful black leather jacket that he saw that I loved with his picture painted,
Wait a
airbrushed
minute,
on
wait a
the
minute.
back.
You got married and he sends you a leather jacket with his face on.
But wait, Rodney Peete, hold on, but Rodney Peete, just like he, you know, like when you have a secure man, he understood. He was like, that's Prince. Shoot,
I
that's
know
Prince.
Prince fine. I know that's Prince.
Yeah, that's
I'm
Prince.
not
And
me.
he was a big, huge Prince fan too. So he was
Oh.
starstruck. He was like, Prince sent you a letter? Like, let me read it. He was all excited. So, but
So he
we
didn't
never,
get mad that he didn't send him one. He just sent you something.
exactly. So I loved him, and I miss him every single day. I miss him. So,
Yeah. Out of all the people I've had a chance to meet, I never met Prince. And when he died, I lost my mind. I love Prince. All my friends, they'll tell you I was a Prince fanatic. And and when he came to Baltimore after the Freddie Gray funeral, just to heal Baltimore, that was the most wonderful thing.
right. He
And
even had a song. Didn't he do that song?
for Baltimore, yes. And I was like, I was in that. When he extended Purple Rain, and I was like, I was on the floor. I was like, yes. I was losing my mind.
He's, you know, there's only once in a lifetime people, like just once in a generation. There'll never be another one like him. So I really love the Sheila E. tribute she gave to him the other night on CBS. I thought that was really fitting, like a real tribute that he would really love. And I just miss him every day.
Can I tell you something? There was a time I wanted to be a love interest of Prince's. I don't know. That was in high school.
Hey, that's a fantasy. I can relate.
Okay. Even though you're married 25 years. So
that's right. Fantasy time is over.
Yeah. So let me ask you this. Another person, I know it still reels. 2020 was horrible for everyone. Ugh. And I know it started off terribly, and you had a major loss. Another friend, Kobe Bryant. How are you doing with that? And how is Vanessa doing? How is she doing? I follow her, and those pictures and those babies and dancing. I send her positive, good thoughts every day.
Yeah, 2020 has been just brutal. That day was so personal. I mean, we all felt it, but I think it was extra hard over here, or I shouldn't say that. Everyone had an extra hard moment, but there were like 20 minutes where we thought Rick Fox was on that plane, or helicopter. Sorry.
Yeah.
And that's my guy, right? So he wouldn't answer his phone, and they were teammates. It was totally, you know, conceivable that they could be together. And that was the longest 20 minutes. Then when we finally found out he wasn't, you know, that was relief, but then that turned back to double, triple grief when we heard that, you know, Gigi was ill on the plane, on the helicopter, and the other people as well. So whoever that, I think they did identify who ended up starting that rumor, and I think he was reprimanded, you know, but that was a moment, like, it was so gut-wrenching, and we were all as a family just devastated. And then we went to the service, the memorial, which was really cathartic and really helped us all grieve, helped the world grieve. And I just was marveled at Vanessa, that she was able to share her grief with us and stand up there. Listen, we all say, I couldn't have done that, or I would have done this, but nobody knows what you would have done unless you were in a situation like that. And I was blown away by how she so selflessly got up there and helped us grieve. She helped us all through it. So 2020 has been tough. I mean, and now there, you know, are over almost 60,000 more people that have passed away, and lives have been altered. So it's just been brutal. It's just been brutal.
Yeah. How's she doing now? Do you talk to her?
I haven't talked to her. I have a friend who is really close with her, who talks to her often. And, you know, she's just completely just immersing herself into her children's lives. And she's got these gorgeous little babies, those beautiful babies, all that great attitude, that one little girl just smiles and lights her room up. And And so I love how she's shared that with all of us too, right? How she's been shared, you know, even when Gigi's school did that awesome, you know, celebration of her, she shared that. She doesn't have to do that. She doesn't have to, that's very personal. And so, you know, all of it has been really difficult, and I'm not sure what lessons 2020 is trying to teach us, but there are so many, and it's really been tough.
And speaking of that, and that's what I say every day when we go through something, no matter what we go through, even when I was going through things, some of the worst moments in my life that were public, I'm like, Lord, what do you want me to learn from this?
Right, right.
What are you learning from this moment and just this year? We know that life is precious. That's
Yeah.
one thing that we've learned. But what have you learned this year?
Oh, I've learned to appreciate the little things, you know, to appreciate the small moments, the small wins in life. I'm always grateful, for instance, about RJ and all the progress he was able to make, you know, when we were told he would never do so much. But I don't know if I really sat back and had this much time to think about what a blessing that was. What a blessing it is to be able to be a blessing to others, to be able to have Holly Rod Foundation. Look, my foundation it's 22 years in. We're not going to be able to have our big gala fundraiser in July, you know, but how else can we help other people? And so that's a blessing. So just really stopping, resetting, and looking around at your life and just really taking inventory on what's truly important. That's been the biggest blessing, I think, of this time. It's hard to weigh that with the fact that we're losing people and people's lives are gone. And then the callous way with which some people refer to these older people. I had an Instagram live today with my mom, and I think some idiot got on TV and social media today and said, you know, oh, well, over 80, you know, what difference does it make? I was like, I wish she would say that in front of my mama, who's 84 and got a lot of life to live. And
Yeah.
so I just think we're learning about ourselves, and we are understanding that, you know, life is fragile and precious, and we got to learn to take care of each other better.
And you know, someone made mention, and it's true, May 1st is Gigi's birthday. And rest in power, happy birthday early for Gigi Bryant. Her father's birthday is August 23rd. But you know, I'm thinking, you know, and just looking at Gigi, she was a kid, and we were talking about kids and lessons learned, and I'm thinking about your dad. And the reason why I'm thinking about your dad, Sesame Street, and how we help the kids learn. You know, CNN brought Sesame Street in to help the kids because, again, you can't walk away from the kids, whether they're 22 or 12 or 2. This is a trying time. How do you think your dad would have made this full circle for children with Bert and Ernie and Big Bird and
well, you know what,
Count?
April, what's crazy is that, so my dad, for those who don't know, was the original Gordon on Sesame Street. So you got to be a certain age to know who my dad was, you remember, right? So he was from from the beginning, 69.
Give your dad's name so people can look him up.
Yeah, so his name is Matthew Robinson, or Matt Robinson. Mm-hmm. He was Gordon on Sesame Street. I remember when he got that job, I was 5 years old. Mm-hmm. And I remember him telling me, we were living in Philly at the time, and he had to commute to New York to shoot Sesame Street. And I remember him telling me, oh, I got this new gig, and it's this children's show, and it takes place on a city block, and there's black kids and brown kids and white. I was like, good luck with that. Because back then we had like Captain Kangaroo, and like we, you know what I mean? We didn't have real diverse television then.
That's right, we didn't.
So Sesame Street broke all that mold, came in and changed the game. And so my dad was the very first person in the very first episode of Sesame Street. So episode 1, which was almost 51 years ago, he came in, he said, "Hi, I'm Gordon, and welcome to Sesame Street. And this is my wife, Susan." Now that confused me, because I was like, hold on. Wait. First, I don't know how you got in that little box. And now you're telling me you married to that lady? Oh, honey, it caused all kinds of issues. So I literally wanted to go on that show so bad, April, and my dad didn't want me to because I think he saw the show business bug. He wanted a lawyer or a senator. I don't know what he wanted from me, but he was an intellectual, real educated man, a Rhodes Scholar. So he was like, he did not want no showbiz daughter, right? So he didn't want me to come up to Sesame Street and be on it. Everybody in my block got to go up and be on it. Finally, I begged and pleaded, went up. I had one line and I blew my one line. I was supposed to say, "Hi, Gordon." And I kept saying, "Hi, Daddy." And yeah, and I'm still traumatized by it. That said, Sesame Street has always been there in traumatic times, in whatever the situation may be. And so I love that CNN brought Sesame Street in because they're very comforting. The Muppets are very comforting.
Yeah.
Electric Company, remember that show? That was another one that was super, you know, super diverse, but just to bring the diversity. And then they brought on a Muppet with autism, Julia, and they asked me to introduce her, and I did. I came to DC, and I introduced her. Yep, at the Capitol. I really just drove the whole press conference. It was really cool and a full circle moment. So my dad, if he were here, would be, well, first of all, you know, he wasn't here for Barack Obama, so I just always, you know, would have wondered what he would have thought about that. But he would have been, you know, he's a real intellectual, very well read, and he would have really had a lot to say about this. But I love the fact that his legacy, which is Sesame Street, which he helped to start, is integral in helping children process all of this, because this is some heavy stuff.
Well, I still love Sesame Street. My kids watched it. That was the only thing that they could do, really, because a lot of TV is just, I'm not going to say trash, but a lot of TV is just not good. You know, some of that stuff that these channels have was not educational, was not about their progress forward. But as an adult, I don't know, I tuned in one day and I just wanted to see, you know, you always tune in for things that you used to watch when you were a kid to see what's going on. And I'm going to turn this up. I want you to hear this. I don't know. This is my jam from Sesame Street. Wait, hold on. Not Stevie Wonder, not Patti LaBelle. This is it. Hold on, listen. Do the rubber duck.
There's a brand new dance, and it's got a reggae beat.
Ernie doing the rubber duck.
While you wash your hands and feet.
Yeah, and then he goes, do the duck, rubber duck, do the rubber duck. Anyway, move it.
I love me some that, and that's early. That's pretty early. And you know what else you should look up when you get a chance? Look up the Muppet Roosevelt Franklin. So my dad started his own Muppet. This was back in 1970. His name was Roosevelt Franklin. He was technically the first African-American Muppet, right? He was really purple. But his music was so amazing. And my dad co-wrote the songs and sang his songs along with Joe Raposo, who wrote all the Sesame Street music, including that theme. And he had some amazing people on it with him, Rosalind Cash, and some other amazing folks. So yeah, check out Roosevelt Franklin, because some of that music is really pretty amazing. I think he might have been too ahead of his time for Sesame Street. It was like some parents, like, anyway, check it out. But Roosevelt Franklin, the diehard OGs of the first years of Sesame Street will remember Roosevelt. Well, and he had a song, and he had really cute songs. Like his song would go, "Roosevelt Franklin, how old are you?" And then Roosevelt say, "Oh, well, I used to be 1. Now I'm going on 2. Well, what you gonna do when you get to 3? I'm gonna look my daddy right in his knee." You know, like, and he would just do fun stuff. You know, it'd always be about church and going to the church. What you gonna do when you get to 7? I'm going to the church and say good morning to the Reverend. You know, just like really fun. I thought
they going to heaven or something. Well,
not heaven,
Holly,
but fun stuff. So check out Roosevelt's.
So we got 50 seconds left, and I just want to say you are such a delight. And I want to once again thank you for joining us. And we're ending Autism Awareness Month, but we are still going to be aware, especially at this time when structure is needed. I'm going to give you the last few words in 33 seconds, Holly.
So I just want to say, first of all, thank you, April, for inviting me, giving me your wonderful platform to talk about autism awareness this month. It's April, but as you know, for autism families, autism awareness is every day. So if you see a family impacted by autism, have compassion, give them love and support. That's the best way you can really help another autism family out.
Holly, thank you so much. And congratulations on 25 years coming up. Woo, Ryan, God bless everybody. Thank you. Thank you.